not say that we have a fair playing ground where when during campaigns we have the podiums, you know, we don't have interpreters. The podiums, as a woman with disabilities, I cannot go up, so I cannot talk to people when I'm down, and there are, you know, discrimination will just start there.
And it's subtle.
Yes, and it will just be the beginning. So for me, there is no fairness, but we have opportunities. We really have the zeal. I know women with disabilities who are determined. But I would just advise my fellow women with disability that they should now start aligning themselves with party politics, because this is now critical. Why
do you think it's critical?
It is critical because, you know, these political parties, they are the ones who make decisions for this country.
It's for power and decision making.
Yes.
You have to participate.
Yes. So in the manifestos, if they have put some programs for persons with disabilities, or they have aspirations to do some things for persons with disabilities, I think that if women with disabilities are in those parties and they have power to influence and they place themselves strategically, they are able to make some.
Lucy, can I say something? You have just made it so simple for me to understand.
Yes.
Because we have the same argument. I'm well known for sports and my love for sports, right? Yes. And I'm always very vocal about bring a former sports player, an athlete, a footballer into the leadership position, because they've been there on the ground, they know what it takes, they know what you need to succeed, and they know the challenges faced.
Yes.
Why don't we just, it's logic, it's common sense. If I'm building a building, bring someone to work with me who's a person facing disability, because they know what will be needed in, jeez, Yani, you don't know what, is it a fair playing ground? On the political front, Mheshimiwa Jacinta?
It's not, because you cannot compare a person with disability with a normal person. Because, politics needs funds. And sometimes persons with disabilities don't afford that much because of their discrimination, their way of living. So sometimes it becomes hard for them to vie, even to look for nomination. It needs money.
How is it hard? I understand the money aspect, but how is it hard when does the electoral code of conduct not recognize the participation of people living with disabilities with the political process? I mean, isn't it obvious?
Can I just add something?
Please,
you know, it's not just about money. It is that I will spend almost twice the regular person. Yeah, because for them, let me give you a practical example. When I was coming here, if I was dropped somewhere, it is a person with, if it's not a person with a disability, I would have walked. But for me, I had to get a border, you know. Here, from the gate to this place, I have had to get help of a vehicle around this place, to get me here faster. So you get it.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It will never be the same.
My goodness. Wow. Mheshimiwa, how have the political parties performed with regard to inclusion of people living with disabilities, especially women? And have you, I don't know, identified shortcomings that should be addressed with just a year to the next elections? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but we have to do this. I mean, seriously, are there any inclusions that political parties are making in order to help you come this new next general election and anyone else living with disabilities?
Yeah, political parties are making efforts to make sure that they have disability links in their parties, because I think that is part of the law, that every political party should have persons with disability within itself.
Let's talk about Wiper. What are they doing?
Wiper?
Yeah.
We are there already.
What are we putting in place?
We are making the policies.
You're making the policies as we speak.
And we are going down to the grassroots to lift persons with disability and to make awareness
Because I'm thinking, and maybe you'll jump in here, Lucy. When the elections come around, we see those long queues. Like you said, it's not the same for you. We know about the drama that can follow elections. So what if violence blows up? Like I said, I can quickly get away. You can't. You needed help to get here faster from the gate to the studio. Something that I would easily do without thinking. I do every morning without thinking. So I live in a space of ignorance, and it's not by Kobaya, Sindio. What are you expecting with the general elections coming? And we know anything can happen with those general elections when we're on those polling station lines. What would you like to see done by the political parties and the government to ensure that you and anyone else has it easy or at least decent to go and vote?
You have come specifically asked a specific question on voting. And I think this now goes to the IEBC to make sure that they have the necessary infrastructure in place for persons with disabilities to participate, so that we don't have voting centers which are not accessible to persons with disabilities. But I would also say that for political parties, they should make sure that persons with disabilities, and most particularly women with disabilities, really are able to express their civic right of voting. And also, before I move, I want to let the nation know this, that according to Article 19 of the UNCRPD, which is ratified in this country, and we all know that our constitution recognizes that all the laws that have been ratified in this country are also form part and parcel of the Constitution of Kenya. So this article talks about independent living of persons with disabilities and being included in their communities. So we start from here, where the government has to make deliberate steps, and I want to underline the word deliberate, not playing public relations with issues of persons with disabilities. They should be deliberate, they should be intentional. So that women with disabilities and persons with disabilities in general feel included in their communities, and they are able to really participate in their communities. How do we do this? By thinking about the farthest behind. The moment you do that, and I'll give you a very good example. If today we had stairs here and we have a ramp, you can use a ramp, yeah?
Yes.
You can also use a stair, yeah?
Yes.
I can't use a stair. I can use a ramp. What is easier? Is it to build stairs or just to put a ramp and we all use it?
Put a ramp. Common
Simple.
sense. Now you make me think, even the IEBC, think about it. You have polling stations in a school, and someone has to walk from the gate to Uko. Put one on the side, well protected, for persons living with disabilities. They don't have to walk all the way and make that line. Give them... Atufikiriagi, let me tell you, it's not just the women here in Kenya, also women across the world. Some in Somalia are dealing with these challenges that women face. I'm here with Mohammed Elmi from Iftil FM, and he wants to share. So you've been listening in on the conversation. I know you wish this conversation was happening on your station, but it's happening right here on the Breakfast Club. What are the women dealing with?
Okay, I want to say this, that in the Somali society, basically that we are in, there's aspect of religion and there's aspect of culture. When it comes to religion treats other people equally for religion. But when it comes to culture, we the Somali community, we see, especially with the aspect of marriage, when it comes out, we see those ladies with disabilities like a bad omen. Because then
the society you were talking about,
bad omen. Then the issue is this, that if, for example, unakatia msichana, isn't it? And then she has a disability, she has a form of disability. And then when the parent realizes that this lady, she has certain form of disability, utambiwa, you look for somebody who's upright. You cannot put more effort on protecting these guys. You are supposed to work. And nowadays, the Somali society, if you have gone around, you have seen that our women are the ones who are doing businesses all over. It's 80%. They're out of the houses, they're doing businesses. So they are very supportive. And if somebody is disabled, it will be, you'll take huge time to make sure that you protect her, to make sure that you're always around with her, a lot of things.
I like what he's saying, because Moha is very clear, Lucy and Mweshimiwa, that look, these women who are well abled are out there giving to the family. They're bringing in, they're pulling their weight. So then in Somalia and in Kenya, to be honest, and around the world, you're thinking, "Ay, sasa hii itakuwa mzigo yangu." Familia inafikiria, sasa unaoa mzigo, sasa ataleta nini? That is the mentality of society now, which is unacceptable, guys.
It is not only unacceptable, but it is a fiction. It's not true.
Perception.
It's just
It's nonsense.
It is not true. I am a woman with disability. I do business. I bring bread to my family. So, and I am here.
Nick, one thing that you're supposed to know is that women with disabilities, when they normally give birth to very bright kids in the society.
They're human. They're us. They're human. I've never understand this. Yes, you know, it's a disability, not inability. I love that slogan, and it's making more sense as I hang out with these beautiful women here in studio who are showing us that they can do, well, not just what we can do. You can do much more than we can do. Look at Mweshimiwa. Look at you, Lucy. So it's great. Let's, because I'm seeing we're running out of time. Mweshimiwa, Lucy, tell us what you would love Kenyans to know about people or persons living with disabilities, what you would love to see changed in terms of law, because I can't believe unaweza nyima mtu kazi ati juu akona inability fulani. Is there no law that protects us from that, Mweshimiwa? Hakuna law inaweza zuia mtu, tunaweza punish kampuni inakata kuandika juu ya uko na disability? No law whatsoever. Lucy, do we know of any law? You see, what concerns me here is whether the law is there or not. The fact that we do not know it, it's not out there like do not steal, is a concern for me.
Do you know you are a Kenyan as much as I am, you know?
Yes.
And you know that in this country we have such beautiful laws. They are there. A lot of them. In fact, if there are medals for laws, this country would have
We'll
one.
take gold.
But my friend, actualizing those laws is the deal. Yeah? Because the laws are there, but people want to just ignore. Yes, there's a law, but also the processes of you know, going about, you know,
The follow-up process.
The follow-up process for you to access that justice, even the court processes, all the judicial processes, they are just cumbersome, they are just very expensive, they are mad with the corruption. If you are going to follow up a company which has billions and you are a person with a disability who even doesn't have work, you are looking for that work. So it is a big deal for us. So what I would want to see in the next government, I don't know who forms the next government, but I want to speak to them if they happen to be listening to this show, that it is important that really the government thinks of actualizing the rights of persons with disabilities. And I will say this, that disability rights are human rights. And it is very easy, very, very easy for them if they will start by thinking of the farthest behind, the most marginalized. Yes. They will have sorted this country. We will all be equal citizens in this country, and God will bless this country.
It's true the law is there, but to enforce it is not easy. And when we look in the side of persons with disability, even if the law is there, maybe it can act for other people, but for the persons with disability, it becomes a second. So you can hear people say that let us do this for these people, but for persons with disability, let them wait. You look for them next time, and it goes like that, and it comes that sometimes it goes and it never happens. So you find that always persons with disability are left behind.